Hello everyone and welcome to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn as the Sun Devils play their final regular season game here at home tonight with the visiting Grand Canyon University Lopes in town. Last night's game, the Sun Devils ended up dropping that one by the score of 4-1. Sun Devils had some issues with taking a lot of penalties and weren't really able to get their rhythm going in the hockey game last night. With this being the last game, as well as the last game for these 5 seniors that were honored last night playing here on ASU campus. It's going to be their last game to try to go out on a high note, and so I expect the Sun Devils to come out with a lot more effort than they had showed in last night's contest. And folks, we'll bring you live first period action here in just under a couple minutes on Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube.
At this time, we ask you to please rise if you are able. Kindly remove your caps and join us as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Your officials for tonight's game.
And folks, before puck drop, we'll introduce you to tonight's starting goaltenders. Coming in for Grand Canyon University, it'll be a different goalie in tonight's contest. It'll be number 70, Jacob Dermanaville. And for the hometown Sun Devils, it's going to be number 1, Cody Creasy. The branded Manitoba native will be starting the final game for Arizona State of the 25-26 season. Out there against the line of seniors with Kylie Ram, Connor Squarey, Carson Cooch, the forwards, with Kate Olson and Ty Marchand on the back end. Quick shot early from Carson Cooch will get stopped by Demranaville. Sun Devils trying to get off to a better start than they did last night, as they, again, weren't really able to get a good foothold and rhythm into the game. Ty Marchand back, getting that puck out of his own zone, streaking through the middle. Trying to center that pass in front, that'll get blocked. And he'll throw it back down the other side as the Sun Devils try to finish off a change. Luke Chase chipping and charging into the offensive zone. He's unable to get there. It'll be picked up by Caden Surchek, and he'll dump that one in, but ends up going in off into an icing call. GCU coming into this weekend ranked 13th in the top 25 and their best season so far at the Division I level for head coach Danny Roy. And it's definitely a team that's going to be making noise during Nationals time. Lopes will chip that one out of their own zone. That puck will die right before it hits the goal line, and so play will continue. The freshman Anthony White for Arizona State gets a tip in from Carter Newland, who's celebrating a very happy birthday today. Jake King unable to get it to Matt Keeler in the offensive zone. Lopes will not get a clean break in, and so they'll have to retrieve the puck on the forecheck. Castle turns it over. Trying to center that one in front was a Lope forward let in, but nobody home. Let in will chip it in. Ty Marchant will look behind his right shoulder as he collects the puck. Unable to get a clean pass off. It stays in. Henriksen for the Lopes. Plays it up to the point. Point shot on. That's blocked by Castle. And that point shot on is saved by Cody Creasy for his first stop of the game. Another solid turnout here at Mountain America Community Iceplex as Grand Canyon University, the closest team to Arizona State in terms of proximity. About a 30-minute drive in between campuses. Draw one cleanly by the senior Ben Chase. They'll get chipped off the glass and get out. Don Spring trying to get some help from his defensive partner, Jacquette, but he turns it over to Trevor Kennedy and he dumps it in. Tabuco helps it along. He'll get the puck back. Spring, wrist shot on. Blocked by Kate Olson. Spring still follows up with it, and that's blockered into the corner by Creasy. Tabuco tries to cycle it back down low in the corner. Tonez gets pinned to the wall. And he'll forward it to Kennedy, and Kennedy will have some time and space to take it out to neutral zone. Olsen will find DeVeers, who was the only goal scorer of the game in last night's contest. Unable to pick that puck off the wall, though, on the dump in. Shot on from Hansen, that's gloved by Creasy. Loeb thought they won the draw initially, but it was some good hustle by Sovisky to get to that puck and just chip it out for the moment. Nelson in on the forecheck for the Lopes. Friesen trying to dig at that puck to dislodge it. Centered out in front to Hansen. He'll come up now to the point, the wrist shot on. That'll miss high from the defenseman Spencer Lund. Friesen unable to clear it for Arizona State. It'll come to Nelson. Nelson gets it right back. Nelson shoots and scores. Ends up getting the turnover created by some hard GCU forechecking, and they'll open and draw first blood early in this first period. Fortunate turnover for Arizona State. That was a tough point for them in last night's contest of trying to break that puck out, as the Lope were able to steal the wall right on that offensive blue line to keep the pressure going. And eventually that pressure will boil over into a good scoring chance like it just did. Anthony White with his head up. He'll indirect pass it to Squarey. Now to King with some speed coming through. King shot. Misses high. Arizona State still applying pressure. Marchand. Wrist shot on. That's blocked by Surchek. Tough check by Squarey behind the play. One-timer shot saved by Creasy. And we'll have a whistle as the back referee calls an interference behind the play. And it'll be Connor Squarey. He's known for his physicality, and that's the trademark to his game, but sometimes he can be a little too aggressive, and they're deemed to be by the referee. And Brett, we saw that aggressiveness last night from Squarey. Got him in a little bit of trouble late in the game, getting into the penalty box repeatedly, and now the Sun Devils are going to be playing from their own end.
In the first period, your Sun Devils are on the penalty kill, powered by the husband and wife.
Crockett, he'll walk the line. One-timer shot on deflection in front. A couple of jabs at it. And it gets picked up by Tonez, and he'll clear it down 200 feet. And folks, by now, you know those remarkable pipes belong to none other than my partner, Niall Cooper. Played back around to lead in, but that's a good check by Ben Chase to allow Tonez to clear it down. And we saw a lot of good penalty killing last night, Brett, from the Sun Devils, as they unfortunately got a lot of good opportunities in the second and third periods. Poor pass out of their own zone, and Luke Chase will slam that back in there. We've already elapsed halfway through the 2-minute minor to Squarey. Masalik. Over to Kaner. They swap spots. He'll work it all the way back around to Hansen. Hansen with Huffer. Hansen. Huffer. Back to Hansen. Takes the shot. GCU staying out on the perimeter. Masalik picks it up. Engages. Centered out in front to Nelson. Great defensive play by Kylie Ram to lift the stick of the GCU player, and they clear it. And you saw Luke Chase battling in front against Brock Nelson. We saw that quite a lot last night. Rather, Ricky Nelson, the big power forward for GCU, parking right in front of the crease. Tonez gets some help from Kate Olsen. Needs some more help from Kylie Ram, and the Sun Devils with a great penalty kill. Very smart play by Kylie Ram there. Instead of chipping it down the ice, he gets his head up, makes a smart play, and maintains possession for Arizona State. Lopes collected in their own zone as Sun Devils get out their normal 5-man unit out on even strength. And a soft chip in. Comes to Anthony White. He fakes the breakout. Puts it back in strong side, but it's turned over. Centered out in front. That time Newland with a defensive play, negating the pass. Hard chip off the glass, though, for Luke Chase. Goes all the way down for an icing with 12-13 in this first period. And it'll be interesting to see if Arizona State can do a little bit better job tonight staying out of the box. Same for GCU. Last night might have been a record setter in terms of more openings to the penalty boxes. Just minors getting called left, right, and center. And Arizona State really struggled last night when this game didn't have much of a rhythm. Puck will come out to Squarey. Rebound as Newland was just a little late to get there. Icing waved off. Luke Chase We'll get it to Newland. They'll try to headman it up quickly. Squarey will soft rim it around. King trying to send that one in front, but he'll lose his balance. Sun Devils a little tired at the end of their shift. And so is GCU, and they'll dump it in, and both teams go for a change. Castle with the two-line pass to shot on from Keeler. Gets worked into the corner by Demerenville. Keeler again. Trying to look backdoor. No Sun Devil there. Castle ends up losing an edge. It's now turned over to Braden Olson. Olson cycles it with Henriksen. Keeler almost able to get the puck, but he puts his man down. And some good effort by him. He'll skate it out on his own power, but only to the center ice line. Lopes come back in. Henriksen trying to jam it in short side. Saved by Creasy. Ben Chase will step out with it. Plays it through the GCU defender. He's trying to headman the puck back to the point. And Kate Olson was pressured and forcing that errant pass out of the zone. Austin Cameron on the forecheck for Arizona State forces the Lopes to go back D-to-D, and they'll skate it out the other side. Nelson sends that one in front to Kaner. Oh, what a stop by Creasy as he sticks out the right arm.
Unbelievable save from Cody Creasy there to keep this at a 1-0 deficit.
Cooch back in on the attack, and that dribbler of a shot goes wide. High chip off the glass, goes all the way down for an ice. But we'll also look to have a penalty called as well. It's going to be lead-in for GCU on a cross-checking call.
And I thought that was going to be assessed to Arizona State there, Brett. It looked like Carson Cooch got his stick right into the numbers of the GCU player.
Yeah, interesting, because we did see lead-in go through the penalty box. Maybe he was trying to go back to the bench or, pardon me, to the locker room for something. So it actually is going to be Carson Cooch, the senior, committing the penalty. And so GCU will be on the power play.
Your Sun Devils are on the penalty kill.
And now a lot of confusion as the play gets whistled down a couple of seconds after the puck is dropped. As I'm not sure if anybody knows what's going on right now.
Well, you hope the guys in the stripes with the orange sleeves have an understanding. I think maybe the scorekeeper trying to get a read on what might be getting assessed here, as we all got thrown for a loop when the GCU player decided to take that little shortcut through the penalty box. Looking like me trying to find the quickest route to the stadium tonight.
Kev will put it down in the corner. Nelson gets pinned to the wall by Luke Chase. Puck will squirt out in front, and it'll come to a friendly Arizona State stick, Kylie Ram, and he'll dump it out. We're past the under 9-minute mark in this first period. It's a 1-0 GCU lead. Masalik will chip it to Hansen. Kaner. Back to Hansen. Hansen one-timer shot blocked by Kylie Ram. Jacquette trying to force the pass out the other side. That's blocked. Kaner. Snapshot on. That's blockered away. Ryan Quast trying to clear it, but ends up clearing it off his own man, Kylie Ram, and it only goes to neutral zone.
Once again, seeing that Nelson Chase battle in front of the net. Luke Chase doing just enough to tie up Nelson, keeping him from getting a deflection on that point shot. We see GCU really wanting to run it from the top of the blue line.
Schwartz to the high slot. And just trying to find Wardus, but that gets cleared by Ben Chase all the way down. 35 seconds left on the ASU minor penalty.
Arizona State struggled mightily last night in the clearing the puck out of their own end category. They're looking a lot better tonight, at least on the shorthanded opportunities.
Olsen will dump that one all the way down. DeMorinville will leave it for his defenseman. Hard rim around. Tonya is unable to redirect that puck out of the zone. Connor Squarey and Sun Devils are now back to full strength, and they have a 2-on-1. Jay King. King with it. King still with it on the backhand. Stopped by DeMorinville. Loeb work it back the other way. Anthony White will collect it. Gets it right back from his defensive partner, Luke Chase. They'll come in. Squarey trying to track the puck down in the corner. Up to King. King trying to deke his way through. Still stuck to the outside. Luke Chase pinching in. Keeping that puck in the offensive zone for Arizona State. King trying to work his way to the middle. Point shot gets blocked in the corner. And the Lopes will just chip that puck out. As that puck, it just about dies before it could have gone for an icing. Good reversal pass by Luke Chase to Anthony White. That allows Arizona State to break the puck out. Keeler fresh off the bench for Arizona State. Couldn't connect on a good pass. That forces Friesen to dump it back down for the Sun Devils. Mikalik will get a redirection from Olsen. And now the Lopes will go for a change. Marchant skates it up to Keeler. Plays it back down in the corner. Friesen trying to steer that puck out in front, but he just loses the handle on it.
That was a good idea by Friesen.
Nelson trying to delay some time. Good play by the freshman Kazel. Point shot on from Robertson, and that stops by Creasy, and we'll have a whistle.
Nice to see Ty Marchant back on the ice here. You could see immediate impact of him leading that breakout for Arizona State. An immaculate skater, Marchant. He's able to move that puck north to south very quickly and get it into that offensive zone for Arizona State. That's something that they were missing dearly the latter stages last night.
Point shot on, saved by Creasy with a lot of traffic in front. And that was something we haven't seen in quite a while. It was a 5-minute major penalty and a game misconduct, which was awarded to the senior Marchant last night.
For those longtime fans, we saw a few of those back in the day with Ben Mack, but it has been a hot minute since we've seen a Sun Devil get assessed with one of those on home ice.
Puck is sitting there, died in the corner in that rugby scrum behind the net of Creasy. Referee's not electing to blow his whistle, and play will continue. Kate Olsen will find Kennedy, and he has some speed, but he couldn't get that pass off the boards to Cooch and Stride, and they turn it over. Lopes regroup and come back in with the puck. The two captains, Hansen and Olsen, get together in the corner. White trying to poke the puck along. It gets kept in by GCU, and they shoot it from the point, but wide. Lead in to delayed penalty call against Arizona State. Henriksen trying to protect the puck away from Chase. A shot on, saved by Creasy. And the Sun Devils will have to go back to the penalty kill.
Carson Cooch getting escorted back to the sin bin for the second time in this period. 3 penalties assessed to Arizona State so far in this game, all to seniors on the final game of the season.
Sun Devil minor penalty number 21, Carson Cooch, 2 minutes for roughing. Cooch 2 for roughing, time the penalty, 4:10
And
remaining
Carson
in
Cooch
the
will
first
be
period.
awarded his second
Your Sun
penalty of the
Devils are
game,
on the
and
penalty field,
for roughing
powered
call,
by the Husband and Wife
as the
Law
Sun Devils
Team.
try to kill off their third penalty of the game. Point shot misses high, and that puck stuck on the apron of the net, and it'll be whistled down.
We hoped going into tonight to see a little bit more of 5-on-5 hockey particularly for the Sun Devils, and unfortunately that has not been the case here in the opening 16 minutes and change.
Kylie Ram will clear that one off the glass all the way down. And so far, Cody Creasy, he's more in that second, third goalie role, but he's looked sharp tonight in this last game of the year for Arizona State. Wardis throws that puck down to Jacquette. Lead in, trying to look for a redirection in front, doesn't get it. Jacquette, wrist shot on, that's blocked by the kneeling leg of Keeler. Another shot on, and that's blocked too by Keeler. Sun Devils can't clear it though. Lead in now to Henriksen. Hits a couple bodies and goes wide. Kylie Ram trying to kick that puck up to his stick. Jousting with Leadin. Leadin somehow still has the puck, and he keeps it in.
That's an immaculate keep in.
Driving hard to the net was Oakland, but he lost control of the puck as he was going towards the crease. Under 30 seconds left on man advantage. Oakland backdoor, trying to send that one in front. Oh! And a sprawling save by the defenseman Luke Chase, keeping that puck out.
Long shift for Luke Chase. You can see he wants to get to the bench.
Jock kept the snapshot on, and Creasy will get that much-needed whistle with 13 seconds remaining on the penalty to Arizona State.
That Sun Devil penalty kill getting tested heavily by GCU, and what an effort. Matt Keeler, we talked about him last night. He was doing it all for Arizona State there, and if you're on the bench, seeing him laying out, sacrificing the body to block those shots, that's something you have to love, and that has got to get the energy going.
Shot on, and they score. Looks to be Kaner with the deflection in front, as it was just too tough of a save for Creasy to make in that short of a space.
And what do you know, GCU, they love to work it from the point. They get right back to it off of an offensive zone face-off win. And it's Kaner. He positions himself in front of the net. Kate Olson had a tough pass assessed to him, trying to tie up Kaner. Kaner very strong, not the biggest forward on the ice, but he got some great positioning and was able to get his stick loose. It's a little deflection on the puck. And as you said, Creasy, nothing he could do on that one. That was a seeing eye puck after it came off the stick of Kaner.
Sun Devils are in the offensive zone, trying to respond after giving up that second goal. Olsen, wrist shot on, and DeMorinville saw his first shot in quite a while from the point from Olsen. Puck still sitting in the face-off circle. Olsen keeps it in at the point. In the corner to Newland. He'll cycle it down low to King. King takes a tough ride, though, behind the net, and he'll get back up. Olsen, wrist shot on, goes wide. Nelson will try to recollect it, but he's evading the check from the back-checking Squarey. But he'll get in the offensive zone to Hansen. Trying to find Nelson back where they can't connect. And it's turned over to Squarey. Squarey, headman pass to Carter Newland. Newland, snapshot on, stopped by DeMorinville. And we'll have a whistle, and it looks to be a slashing call against GCU.
Yeah, partner, I think we might have to head over to the DraftKings Sportsbook potentially later and double check to see what the line on penalties was overall for this weekend. as this contest between GCU and Arizona State continues the same trend we saw last night. Just a parade to the penalty box for both teams now. And finally, we get to see Arizona State on the good end of that, as they will get a power play opportunity. A minute 15 left. You know the ice is queued up. If you're Arizona State, take a page out of GCU's book here. Get the puck to the point, shots through traffic. And if you can squeeze a goal in here in the final minute 15 of the first, this would be nothing short of huge for the Sun Devils going into the intermission.
Fueled by the husband and wife law team.
Sun Devils got a lot of practice on the power play last night. We'll see if anything changes. Not that great of a start, though, on this one, as they have to retrieve the puck back in their own zone.
1 minute remaining in the first period.
As we are under 60 seconds left in this first period, Ty Marchant drops it to DeVeers. And now to Austin Cameron, and he'll rim that around. DeVeers on the forecheck. Now to Kate Olson. He'll play that back down all the way around. Marchant has to get on his horse to seal that wall. He can't. And it's dumped all the way down by the Lopes. Turned over. Hansen trying to do maybe a little too much with the puck. And it'll come back into the Arizona State zone. Cameron gets around Masalik. Drops it. Trying to find DeVeers, but Masalik, good job on the back check, intercepts the pass. White will sit back in his own zone, and that'll do it for the first period of play. Arizona State with a better start, but again, hampering themselves with so many penalties and allowing GCU to get a foothold in this first period.
You certainly did not want to start the game this way if you're Arizona State. You knew GCU was going to expect a better effort, and the Lopes have brought about as good an effort as we saw last night. Arizona State, too many penalties and not enough offensive zone time, leading to a lot of really good chances for GCU. We'll see if Arizona State can muster up a little bit better of an effort and some more intensity going into the second period.
After the first 20 minutes of play, Grand Canyon University 2, Arizona State nothing, and we'll bring you live second period action in just under 15 minutes here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey U2.
your life.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn alongside Niall Cooper and of course the production extraordinaire, the one and only Dr. Ben Smith, as we get this second period underway with the Sun Devils having an abbreviated power play opportunity to start the period. Austin Cameron comes in on his forehand side, rims it around. Takes a weird hop though off the glass. Marchand kept it in momentarily, but Wardus will dump it down. Sun Devils with a better start to the game, but weren't able to capitalize on any goal scoring as GCU finished off the rest of that penalty kill. But again, hampering themselves in the penalty department has allowed GCU to get a 2-0 lead in the second period. DeVeers turns it over to Nelson. Nelson trying to streak through a couple ASU defenders. That'll get cleared into the corner. Wraparound opportunity stopped by Creasy as he was able to hug that post.
Now, smart move by GCU, just getting in on the offensive there, going for the quick wraparound. Well, you know the ice is good. Usually the ice starts getting chewed up here about the 10-minute mark. And the Sun Devils, unfortunately, that last power play they had was late in the second period, and they could not get anything going. We saw GCU last night have some success with power plays carrying over from period to period.
Peltier will drive in on the outside. Left-handed defenseman. Button hooks into the corner. But he's getting checked hard there by Hunter Friesen. Loaf will continue to possess the puck. Deschamps unable to clear it. He'll get some help from Anthony White and he'll skate it out to the neutral ice. Newland over to Luke Chase. Aggressive forecheck by GCU, pinning Chase into the corner. Newland will help his defenseman out. Deschamps trying to find a streaking Friesen in behind the defense, but it slides all the way down for an icing.
And with the long change in the second period, the Sun Devils having a long look over at the bench right now. You can see some of the players bent over, just sucking wind. Arizona State could really use a clear and a quick little change, especially that D-core. You can see very tired, but Luke Chase putting in a great effort in tonight's game so far. Really like what I'm seeing from him.
White trying to clear that off the boards, but it takes a hop to the middle of the ice. He'll get a second opportunity to clear it, but he can't. One-timer shot on, and they score. Henriksen with a beautiful one-timer on the clap bomb, and he's able to blast that one past Creasy, making it a 3-0 GCU advantage.
And the Sun Devils a chance to get that puck up the half wall and out. They cannot convert. Once again, GCU very aggressive on the forecheck, keeping the Sun Devils from getting that puck out of the defensive zone. And Henriksen, as you mentioned, he posts up right in the middle of the slot. He knew exactly where that goal was when he let that shot go. From one knee, Sidney Crosby style, he gets that one past Creasy. And GCU, for the second time in as many nights, has a 3-0 lead on Arizona State.
And like what you mentioned before that face-off, it was a tired Arizona State group, and that definitely had to factor in to them not being able to clear that puck out of their own zone. Lopes skate back in with it. Wardus' snapshot on. Blocker into the corner by Creasy. Sun Devils are able to push the puck all the way out of their own zone. Jacquet, he'll get pinned to the wall by a couple Sun Devils in front of the Arizona State bench. Olsen will dump it in, and Sun Devils go for a partial change as that puck goes all the way around on a rim play for an icing.
And you see Ty Marchand hopping over. An opportunity here for some of the skill players for Arizona State. You know, the momentum has really been GCU's all for the second period so far. The ice very tilted But the Lopes giving Arizona State a golden opportunity with an offense zone faceoff. We'll see if Ben Chase can dig in here and get this puck back to the blue line.
Puck still being bandied about. Kennedy with some good pressure, and that point shot from Marchand goes high. Cooch gets pinned to the wall by Sean Spring. Cooch still with it. Trying to kick it around to Kennedy behind the net. Puck will get picked up, though, by the Lopes. But they turn it over now to Ben Chase. Chase waiting for some teammates to come and join him in on the attack. Wheels it back over to Kennedy, but it gets turned over. Braden Olson for GCU. He'll run into Marchand and lose possession of the puck. And that's an icing call as that puck just hops over the stick of Cooch as he was at the far blue line poised to go in on a great scoring opportunity.
And our cam work tonight, have to mention for everyone at home, maybe a little bit better than we've ever seen. We have a little bit of help tonight. Running the corner boards, you see right there, courtesy of our man Cash, as Dr. Ben Smith has brought in the big guns for the final game of the season tonight.
Definitely spare no expense with a Dr. Ben Smith broadcast, that's for sure. Jake King, and he'll get taken down, flew-footed down, as a referee behind the play saw that one developing. And Hanson, the captain for the Lopes, will be heading to the box. So maybe something here for the Sun Devils to build off of as they
GCU
get to work
penalty,
on the main event.
Owen Hanson, 2 minutes for holding. Hanson,
Puffer ends up clearing that one to the back of the linesman. And with a second effort from Schwartz, we'll finally get it deep.
Your Sun Devils are on the power play.
At this point in the game, if you're Arizona State, you have to think we just need to get a couple shots on goal. DeMorinville has not seen a whole lot of rubber this period. He might be just a little bit tight back there, not as into the zone as we've seen from Cody Creasy tonight with all the rubber that he's seen. And for Arizona State, I'm surprised to not see Ty Marchand is not the one back quarterbacking this puck up the ice.
Maybe trying to look at some different ways to attack this GCU defense. Keeler turns it over in his own zone. Also lots of collected as both teams go for a partial change, and just about 60 seconds remain on the man advantage opportunity for Arizona State. Squarey on the right side, driving in. Squarey shooting, then DeMorinville kicks out the leg. Keeler up at the point, and it's a late penalty call against GCU.
Sun Devils need to give up the puck right now.
Point shot misses wide as Creasy jumps on for the extra attacker. Arizona State trying to get the puck back to the Lope, and it's finally whistled down. As actually it looks to be the goaltender going to be awarded for the penalty.
Yeah, DeMorinville, he got a little cross-check there, right in the numbers of Connor Squarey you see on the left side of your screen. And Squarey, he's playing a physical brand of hockey tonight, partner, and you saw him as he made that move to the front of the net just before that penalty. He made sure to leave a little bit of contact with DeMorinville at the passing of that scoring opportunity, and DeMorinville ended up on his backside. He did not take kindly to that shot from Squarey. The referee had a great look at it, deemed the contact to be legal, but DeMorinville thought that he needed to get a little bit of retribution after the fact.
And so a timeout called by Arizona State as they're going to have 35 seconds of 5-on-3 power play time.
GCU minor penalty on the goaltender, number 70, Jacob
As
DeMorinville.
head coach Johnny Walker is asking for the whiteboard, and he's now instructing his players on
in
strategy.
the second period.
I think a smart move by Arizona State to use their lone timeout right now. Not a whole lot of opportunities will be afforded to you against a good GCU team like this. They're very well coached. They play a pretty tight game, not going over the lines too much. But it's not too often you get a cross-checking call assessed to the opposing goaltender, and Arizona State really needs to lock in and try to maintain some pressure off on offensive zone faceoff.
Sun Devils trying to retrieve the puck. They do with Connor Squary's help. Marchand. Pitch and catch with Kate Olson. Now in the corner to King. And he's passing it around with Austin Cameron behind the goal line. Olson to Marchand. Shot on. Rebound in front. And they score. Jake King is able to be in the right spot at the right time, and he puts away the rebound from the Marchand shot. And now it's a 3-1 GCU lead.
Jay King, one of the players for Arizona State, we'll be looking at a lot next year to lead this team. He came on last season, found his game. You see him set up in a good spot in front of the net. And Arizona State, they outman GCU in front of the net. Jake King needs to get his flowers. He drew that first penalty that led to the 5-on-4 opportunity for Arizona State, and he's ultimately the man who pots home the goal to get the Sun Devils back into this one. And you can feel a little bit of energy now on the ice and in the stands.
Just what the doctor ordered for Arizona State. It was ended up turning into a perfectly called timeout by the first-year head coach, Shawnee Walker. And the Sun Devils execute. Still a minute and 10 left on now a 5-on-4 opportunity. Marchand streaking in. Marchand on the backhand shot. Gets taken down, no call. King. Snapshot misses high. Weird Karam off the boards. Marchand keeps it into King. Wrist shot on. Rebound in front. Cameron with the rebound, and it somehow stays out.
What a save. DeMorinville really standing tall.
Marchand, snapshot on, rebound in front. They're jabbing at it. DeMorinville trying to put his hand over the puck, and he does as it's whistled down.
And you like to see that the big 6'4" Connor Squeary parking himself right in front of the blue paint as he was fighting against 3 GCU skaters, and DeMorinville almost dug that puck loose. As Sun Devils, they smell the chum in the water. This top line staying out on the ice for head coach Johnny Walker.
Sun Devils trying to get to that puck. Wardis is unable to, or just able to clear it. 30 seconds left on man advantage. Austin Cameron plays it up to Marchand. But the pass within the skates is square, and they can't enter in the offensive zone.
And that should just about do it for the man advantage here for Arizona State. And the way this game's going, we might be seeing another penalty assessed soon. However, the Sun Devils look to take some 5-on-5 momentum off of this power play goal.
Spring unable to clear it. It's kept in by Hunter Friesen. Snapshot on from Marchand. Snagged by DeMorinville. And the Sun Devils, with those power play opportunities, have crawled back in within 2 goals against GCU, and also maybe crawled back the momentum as well.
I think certainly the case. And you see Matt Keeler taking a page out of Squeary's book there, parking himself in front of the net. And the Sun Devils playing a simpler brand of hockey right now, partner. Even though GCU is not giving them good opportunities, the Sun Devils taking what they can, working it at the points, getting traffic in front. And sometimes that's just what you need, something nice and simple to get yourself back into the game.
So this guy finds Veers as he was streaking in on the far blue. He couldn't handle the pass, though, so he's going to have to go in on the forecheck. Lopes come in with some speed. Snapshot on. Kicked away into the corner by Creasy. Lead in. He'll mix it up physically with Carter Newland, but the Sun Devils break it out. So this guy trying to center that one in front. Pass blocked, and he'll work it back down around. Veers has to get that puck back into the neutral zone and gets dumped in again. Kylie Ram, the first forward in for Arizona State, absorbs the check from Lund. Newland, he'll get pinned to the wall. Comes out in front to Newland. Newland, maybe a little too fancy with it as he went for the pass instead of the backhand shot, and the Lopes skate it the other way. Out in front, that's cleared by Kylie Ram. The DeVeers, and Friesen ends up getting a toe pick right by the far blue line. Lopes come back in with it. Schwartz trying to release the shot, and his stick got lifted by a back-checking Matt Keeler of Arizona State. Friesen driving, another opportunity. Friesen again, his third shot, still kept out by DeMorinville.
The pace of this game really starting to pick up, a lot of north to south hockey.
Wardis trying to deke his way around Tonez, but he gets shown to the outside. Up at the point. Tight turn by Peltier, but he'll get pinned to the wall by Tonez as we are past the halfway point in the second period. To Buchel, cross seam pass over into the corner. Friesen, unable to clear it with a chip. Kate Olsen has to go back, but he turns it over, pops out in front, and Friesen was alert to it, clears it away. Cooch, unable to get around Jacobsma. Braden Olsen ends up absorbing a check, and Wardis will dump it in. High stretch pass intercepted by Spring. He'll skate the puck in. Getting harassed by Kennedy in the corner. High chip off from Marchand. Icing waved off. Ben Chase will be the first one to get there. Drop pass to Cooch, but he loses handle of it. Hard check from Trevor Kennedy on Jacquette. As the pace of play is starting to heat up here at Mountain America Community Iceplex, just like the weather outside. Icing waved off. Cooch hustling to get there first. He'll skate the puck up. Marchand fakes the shot. Wrist shot on, and that deflection just goes wide dangerously. Another shot on from Luke Chase, blocked. King has to get back on his horse as he's feeling some heat from the GCU forechecker. Trying to get around Nelson, and he'll be forced to go back in his own zone. King over to Ben Chase. He'll just play that one lightly on to Morinville. And the Lopes will skate back out quickly with Benjamin Oakland. Oakland trying to work his way to the goal mouth, but it's cleared away by Creasy. Kylie Ram unable to corral the pass. That allows Leadon to go back in and regroup for GCU. Henriksen to Leadon gets taken down by Kylie Ram. Great defensive game so far by one of the Arizona State seniors. King will flip that one out. Squeary can get there. They'll come to Connor Squeary. Squeary on the backhand, and he just misses wide. Puck still loose in front. Cleared away by Oakland. Marchand skates back up with it. Could catch GCU on a change. Marchand wrist shot on, kicked away. Rebound by Marchand, and DeMorinville makes a stop. And we'll finally have a whistle.
And somebody get an oxygen tank down here for my partner, Brett Vaughn. The action is coast to coast, never ending. Both teams going back and forth. It felt like a shooting range for the last 5 minutes. Great chances at both ends. Squeary, maybe the best chance just before Ty Marchand led them down the ice there. And you have to love what you're seeing from the Sun Devils.
Problem by the Sun Devils. Anthony White's point shot. Wristed and stayed by DeMorinville. And I'll hand over the play-by-play reins for the rest of the game to my partner in crime, Niall Cooper.
And thank you, Brett. Just as the game's getting good, it feels almost criminal to take the reins away from you. Arizona State building up a lot of momentum lately. They get that offensive zone draw, shot on, kicked into the corner. And GCU, you can tell, back on their heels now as they're just trying to get out of their own zone, and the Sun Devils force it back the other way. Keeler, he's been everywhere, fighting against 3 GCU players. The puck in front of that, shot on, saved by DeMorinville. Rebound in front. GCU tries to get it to clear, and they just get it out into the neutral zone.
GCU hanging by the skin of their teeth as Arizona State really putting on a good press in the second period.
DeMorinville leaves it. Keeler, the first one there, puts it in a dangerous area. Shot on, save, rebound, push just wide as DeMorinville has a Sun Devil forward all over him. GCU clears it, but DeMorinville a little shaken up.
As the GCU netminder is trying to get his wits about him as he got an Arizona State player, Ryan Quast, pushed into him by his own player, Schwartz. And we'll see the trainer now come out to tend to the GCU goaltender.
And that's exactly right. You saw Ryan Quast in there jamming away at the puck. Almost picked it up. It was loose in front for a moment as he gets cross-checked right in the back into DeMorinville. And GCU lucky not to go short-handed on that. Maybe an opportunity here for the Lopes to just kind of collect themselves as Arizona State has been pressing extremely hard the last 5 minutes of this period.
And again, you can trace it back to that 5-on-3 opportunity where head coach Johnny Walker called the timeout, noticing that it was a big moment in the hockey game. And the Sun Devils from that point on have really been the aggressor in the second period.
Ben Chase, he's been good in the circle tonight. Gets a win there back to the point. But it's GCU who's able to push it back into the offensive zone. Sun Devils looking to find that north to south game that they've been playing with 5-on-5. We alluded to it last night. If the Sun Devils could get sustained 5-on-5 play, they might be able to establish a little bit of a rhythm, and I think that's what we're starting to see here.
Also noticing, too, the bench energy a lot better than it was last night. You could see assistant coach Keith Carney clapping his hands together, trying to encourage his Arizona State players to keep up that good momentum out on the ice sheet.
Sun Devils with an offensive zone win. Ty Marchand walks the line. He'll deke pass one forward. Nelson trying to take away that point-to-point pass. Luke Chase will step in, gets a stick lifted. Back the other way, GCU, maybe a 2-on-1. That saucer pass in front, a little too hot to handle. Quick little button hook. That was the captain, Hansen, as the Lopes try to work it back up the half wall, but a nice heavy stick from Kylie Ram sees Arizona State push that puck in. Squeary digging away. Coming in, laying the body is King. Squeary looking for the check there. An active stick from King. He picks the puck of the defenseman as he wanted to find Squeary working up the right wing. GCU skates it back the other way. Hansen backhands it as the Lopes for a partial change. They might get caught. Squeary, end of a long shift though, and he'll go to the bench. Luke Chase laying the body, separates the man from the puck. As he goes to pick up his stick, the Lopes regroup in the neutral zone. Lopes skated in. That shot high, right over the head of Creasy. GCU back on it. In the slot, toe drag, shot deflected over the net. Leiden had it in the corner, was trying to work it back to the point. Ty Marchand lays the check. Back at the point, GCU working it along the blue line. So send it down low into the corner. That pass read well, brought ahead now by Arizona State. Friesen trying to deke around the defense. He gets knocked down. The Sun Devils going for a change, trying to not to get caught with too many men. Friesen will just push it in back behind DeMorinville. Leiden now ahead for the Lopes. Leiden knifing through the middle. That third man coming in late can't handle the pass for GCU. The Sun Devils, can they get it out? At their own blue line in dangerous waters, they do get it ahead to Friesen. The puck bouncing a lot, Friesen able to find it. He finds the Villers, turnaround slap shot, blocked away by the defense. Kate Olsen gets on one knee, trying to keep it in. That squirts through him. It's Schwartz in a one-on-one against Tonez. Active stick from Tonez. Breaks that up, and GCU forced to touch up. Creasy gloves it down, and we will have a stoppage with 3:08 remaining.
Sun Devils still doing a good job in the offensive zone, winning races to those loose pucks. I would like to see the forwards to be a little harder on that puck, where instead of trying to go for some more hope plays or just dump the puck around to avoid being checked, if they're willing to go ahead and take a check, eat one, to then open up a better scoring opportunity when they're on the forecheck in the offensive zone.
Off that draw, you saw Cooch making a move in the neutral zone. That puck, if it would have scored it past the defense, Cooch would have been in all alone. Point shot blocked away by the defense of the Sun Devils. Kennedy had his stick lifted. Lopes trying to squeeze in behind the defense. Cooch lays a nice body, though, and Kennedy skates it ahead. Kennedy in behind the defense, gets his head up, and a slot one-timer from Chase Fans on it. Shot from the point, deflected just wide. Chase and Cooch give Chase into the corner. Cooch now separates his man from the puck. Chase on it, had it briefly on his backhand. Still on it, the Sun Devils, saved by Nemorinville. Cooch turnaround, shot in front. Lopes just trying to clear it. A nice keeping at the point. Off the high glass, short angle, coming in late, Kennedy! That shot saved by Nemorinville. Turnaround, another save by Nemorinville. Arizona State throwing everything in the kitchen sink right now at the net, but Nemorinville standing up to every one of them.
Ice is tilted right now in favor of Arizona State. They got GCU on the ropes.
Sun Devils went for a partial change behind the play. Almost got caught with too many men. No one knows where the puck is. It skyhooks into the corner, and a very delayed icing assessed here on Arizona State.
Tough call against Arizona State as the defenseman for GCU, Lund, ended up electing to just play more of the body position game rather than try to win the race to the loose puck. And Arizona State's going to have to defend a face-off in their own zone with a minute and 50 left in the period.
And try to work credits to the Sun Devils all the way up to 31 shots on goal in the game. Only in the second period, they have really turned it on. You like the gumption that this squad has shown after going down 3-0. Creasy waffle boarded that shot away. At the blue line, who can turn up with the puck? It's Arizona State defensively. Ty Marchant with it. 90 seconds remain in the middle frame. Sun Devils off the glass. Up into the neutral zone. Puck bouncing around. Picked up now by Anthony White. He'll smartly throw it in behind the net. First one there, the Sun Devils. Quast rims it back around. Arizona State on it at the point. Shot through traffic, deflected by Quast. Morinville trying to cover it up. Whacking away at it was Descharme. And he has some choice words with number 27, Tyler Huffer.
Really been enjoying this meat and potatoes hockey Arizona State's doing right now. They're winning races to those loose pucks. And from there, just going to work on the forecheck, generating scoring opportunities, and sending a lot of rubber towards the GCU netminders' way.
Sun Devils showing a lot of fight. Keeler still jawing as he heads back to the bench. Morinville getting his goalpost checked as they were a little bit loose. Offensive zone win for King. He tried to skate in behind the defense. GCU gets it out, though.
1 minute remaining in the second period.
Under a minute left here in the second. King chips it back in behind the defense. King tied up by those Lopes defenders. Jaquette takes a shot high from Connor Squeary, and that will be a penalty on number 2 in the white and gold. Right in front of us, Jaquette still down.
And it definitely was a bit of a high hit by Squarey. It's also tough, too, with that size disparity, as Jacquette's one of the smaller players on the GCU team, but Squarey's still responsible for how he makes physical contact with the opponent. And unfortunately for Arizona State, they're going to have to kill a penalty off for the rest of this period.
Jacquette listed at 5'10", the Winnipeg, Manitoba native.
Sun Devil penalty,
And
number 2, Connor
unfortunately
Squarey.
for Connor
5
Squarey,
minute
we
major
see
for
that is a
elbowing.
5-minute
Squarey,
major for
5-minute
elbowing
major for
assessed,
elbowing.
Brett.
The time of the penalty,
When was the last
43
time we saw
seconds
two
remaining
5-minute majors in as
the
many
second
nights
period.
assessed to
Your
Arizona
Sun Devils
State?
are on the penalty kill, powered by the Husband and Wife
And a really
team.
tough call against Squarey. Not to mention, too, this is his final game in an Arizona State sweater. And for his career to end off like that, it's really tough to see.
It's unfortunate, as you mentioned, the size disparity. Squarey coming in at a sizable 6'4", Jacquette, all of 5'10". That size difference, a little tough for Squarey to line up. Marchand laying the body. Back at the point, that shot on, wide of the net. Sun Devils a chance to clear it. Just kept in by Huffer. They'll send it down low. Luke Chase eats a check as he was just trying to kill the puck down low. 5 seconds remain. Huffer at the point. Throws one on, saved by Creasy. Loose in front. Creasy squeezes the leg pads. And that will do it for the second period. The best period of this weekend for Arizona State sees the Sun Devils finish on another penalty kill following a 5-minute major penalty. And that will definitely suck some of the wind out of the sails of the Sun Devil squad that was feeling so good just a few minutes ago.
Which is too bad. Arizona State, probably their best period at home that we've seen since those Arizona games over at Mold Arena. And it's going to be important as the team gets back into the room to make sure they keep up that intensity as we head towards that third period and not get derailed by a tough penalty call.
And as Kate Olson will step off the ice, the captain for Arizona State, after a quick discussion with the referees. And we'll see what Arizona State can bring when they step back on the ice here. The third period of the final game of the season for Arizona State coming up in a quick 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
And folks, welcome back in here to Tempe, Arizona for the final period of the final game of the regular season for Arizona State Division I men's ice hockey here on ASU, ACHA Hockey YouTube. My name is Niall Cooper. My partner is Brett Vaughn. And Brett, Arizona State has a bit of a mountain to climb here in the final 20 minutes if they want to get back in this game.
Just after the best second period we've seen since the games against U of A a month ago, end up getting hampered as Connor Squarey was awarded a 5-minute major in a game misconduct. And so the Sun Devils have to kill off 4 minutes and 17 seconds remaining on that penalty before they can be back to even strength. So it's going to be very important for them to start this off with a good face-off win and a good kill to try and get back in. Again, only down 2 goals, something they could definitely do and is well within their reach.
Nice physical check laid there by Arizona State, and they have a good start here as Kate Olson will rip that all the way down the ice. Some fresh ice here for GCU. Not the first time they've seen that with a penalty carrying over from one period to the next.
Don't mind this at all for Arizona State, just keeping that puck sealed in the corner.
Some valuable seconds ticking away. GCU zipping the puck, working it low to high as they get that umbrella set up across the blue line. Shot on, blocked away by the ASU defense. That puck, will it get across the blue line? It will not. GCU just keeps it in. Oakland sends it down low. And now Kate Olson will get that all the way down the ice.
And maybe even too, like we saw in last night's game when they were killing off a 5-minute major call, if they can maybe even catch GCU napping, either getting a good scoring opportunity or even forcing GCU into a penalty themselves.
Down low. Back up to the captain, Hansen from one knee, saved by Creasy.
Really the best chance for GCU on this power play was that one-timer shot from Hansen, but other than that, Sun Devils doing a great job of moving that puck along the boards and making sure it's not being able to be set up well by GCU in zone.
And that's a hand pass off the face-off that should come out into the neutral zone, I believe. And Arizona State already killing off almost half of this 5-minute major assessed to Connor Squarey. Squarey looks on from the sidelines. Ty Marchand now. And that is a long shot from Marchand. Heads up for everyone down at the corner of this rink. We know some of the Marchand clan in attendance tonight, partner. Maybe he was trying to get them a freebie on the way out here.
Least they can do for his parents is, like a lot of these parents here on Arizona State are definitely helping their sons get through and get a higher level of education.
And certainly a high level of hockey we've seen from Ty Marchand over the years here in an ASU sweater. Marchand pushing Hansen back up to the blue line. The captain walking the line. Drops it back. Kaner swings it across. Now back to Kaner looking for the shot. Nothing there. Arizona State really keeping GCU at the top of this blue line. That puck looked like it squared across. Johnny Walker letting the linesman know. But we play on. GCU sends it down low. Schwartz. Up to the captain, Hansen. He has a chance to walk it in. Forehand, backhand, saved by Creasy. Hungry hip going at it. He can't find it. Hansen gets it back up to the blue line. Shot through traffic just wide of the net. Sun Devils, can they get it clear? Whacking away his Cooch. He finds the puck, can't get it out. First time, second time, Marchand will settle it down as we're inside 90 seconds left here on this 5-minute major power play. At the blue line, that puck, will it squirt out? It will not. Olsen chips it back down low to Marchand. Second opportunity for him to clear. kept in for a moment. Chase pushes it ahead. Maybe a 2-on-1 for Arizona State. Back behind the net, the Sun Devils were just trying to eat a little bit more time on the clock. Inside 60 seconds left on the man advantage for GCU. Kennedy absorbs a check. Olsen has a GCU player dive in, football style, to try and pick that puck up. He ends up playing it with a hand, though. And as Leeden touches up, that will be a stoppage.
And important for Arizona State, too, is faceoff will be outside of the Sun Devils zone, and just like that, only 43 seconds left on that 5-minute major penalty for Arizona State, and almost were able to get a good short-handed opportunity with Kennedy and Chase leading the way.
We see the coaching staff with Danny Roy and co down at the other end having some conversations, maybe tactically, as they look ahead here to once we're back on 5-on-5. We will expect to see the Sun Devils really make a heavy push down the stretch. Has some good penalty killing, gets a clearance for Arizona State. Hard rim in, slowed down by Creasy. A nice job by Creasy to get to Olsen, but he cannot clear, kept in by Leeden. Vargas, one-timer, they score! Oakland, with 11 seconds left on the penalty, gets a one-timer in the low slot, and GCU goes up 4-1.
Real tough save for Creasy there, as that one-timer came right in on him in the middle of the slot. And unfortunate for Arizona State, they did a great job killing that penalty off, and they were almost out of it with only 11 seconds still remaining on it.
And the Sun Devils, a theme this weekend, they had a chance to get a clear shorthanded. That time it was the captain, Cade Olsen. His hard shot down the point, kept in by GCU, and from there they went to work. As the Lopes remain dangerous here, and turnover at the blue line. Shot on, saved by Creasy. Lopes looking for more. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Chase has his pocket picked. King comes in to help out. DeVillers just across the blue line. He'll swing it east to west. Sun Devils were looking to get a change back behind the play. GCU will chip it in. Marchand slows it down. Assesses his options. He gets it to DeVillers. DeVillers can't handle it, however. And GCU skates it right back in. Sun Devils needing to get the offense going, but having a little bit of trouble getting out of their own end. Got on, sticked away by the defense, and that will ease its way to Creasy, who will cover up.
Now that we're back to 5-on-5 play, I really want to see ASU continue what they were building in that second period. No more excuses now. It's back to 5-on-5 play. And what really was the catalyst for them to really get back into this hockey game was dumping that puck in, working hard on the forecheck, and generating offense from there.
Voss blocking the shooting lane. GCU forced to just chip it back in down that wing. Cade Olsen gets his head up, sends it all the way down the ice. The linesman debating about calling an icing there, waves it off. The captain, Hansen, for GCU, pushes it up the ice. Across the blue line, dropped over to Hansen on his backhand. He'll go down low, put on the brakes. Cade Olsen with the puck. He'll make that soft chip up, wanted Quast. Kept in, thrown on, just wide of the net. Sun Devils going for a change, back behind the play. GCU pushes it right up ahead the ice. Absorbing a check from Savasky. Mikhalik. Salick can't handle at the blue line. That almost hops over the stick of the defenseman. Chase now has his stick lifted. Cooch soccers it away from Mikhalik. Cooch pushes it ahead. Cooch with speed down the right wing. Swinging it around the net. Works it back up to the point. Tonez. Now Anthony White. One-timer. That goes wide. Cooch makes a good effort to keep GCU from getting to that puck. And now it's Anthony White up to Ben Chase. He'll get in on side. Loses the handle just for a moment, however. 7 minutes gone here in the third period. The clock is not the Sun Devils' friend at the moment.
Also, with the Sun Devils being down 3, I would like to see that defense activating a lot more from the blue line, pinching in, trying to keep that puck and keep that pressure applied to the Lopes in the offensive zone.
Good man, Luke Pace, making sure Wardoff didn't take a tumble there late. Luke Chase, a man of many talents, as we've even seen him run the camera here a few times over the years. The tall defenseman. The Chase brothers, two great figures here for Arizona State over the last several years. Ben Chase has had a good game tonight in the faceoff dot. Luke, a nice physical evening on the back end, partnered with Ty Marchant. Marchant now, first one to the puck. He'll lay a body, 15 on 15. Tabukel can't handle it. Luke Chase, Johnny on the spot. He pushes it ahead now to Jay King. King through the middle of the ice. A nice slashing defensive stick pokes that off of him. And Arizona State goes for a change. GCU up the middle of the ice. Drop pass, one-timer. A nice block by Friesen. Boss just gets in the neutral zone. Newland will lift the stick. Creasy a chance to settle it down. He will for Cade Olson. In the neutral zone, Friesen was trying to give chase. The Sun Devils going for those long stretch passes out of their own end, not connecting on them at the moment. And it's allowing a simple formula for GCU to simply retrieve, chip in, and then collect the clearing attempt. Creasy will glove that one down. 11:07 remaining here in the third.
Sun Devils have had a couple opportunities of being able to, instead looking for that long pass, skate out with the puck. But once they cross that center ice line, I'd like to see them be a little more decisive and play a little more straight ahead hockey instead of trying to deke through the middle of the ice to make sure they can, again, get that puck in deep and then go in hard on the forecheck.
Kennedy, a great effort to get on his horse and nullify the icing on that clearance by Olson. Olson on it now, waits for people to get in front of the net. His shot on, easily gloved down. DeMorinville, first rubber he has seen in quite a while. Sun Devils get their 33rd shot on goal of the game.
And it played out there, Trevor Kennedy with great hustle negating the icing call. And he got some help with Ben Chase out of the corner and fed it to Olson, where there's a decent scoring opportunity that developed.
Ben Chase now leaning in on the draw. He wins it back to the point. Cooch lays the body. But it's GCU who get the puck cleared down the ice. Ben Chase backhands it in. Kennedy lays a body. Just misses his man, though. And it's the Lopes skating ahead. 2v2. Bordas behind the net. He picks it loose in front of Creasy. Bordas. Now Ben Chase along the half wall. A chance to settle things down. Tonez went through a full read of options. De Villers now gets it in onside. Shot on. Rebound. Kicked out by the leg pad to Chase. He'll turn around. Fire one just wide. Descharmes sends it down low. Tired Ben Chase. Trying to push it back to the point. Turned over. Lopes bring it in. Saved by Creasy. Marchant protecting the puck. He'll skate it ahead himself now. Cutting through the middle of the ice from his left to his right. Past 3 Lopes. Reinforcements coming in a little bit late, and the Lopes skate it right back the other way. Cutting into the middle. Quick shot by Tabukel. Now Marchand has to get on his horse. Backhander up the half wall. DeVillers kicks it out into the middle of the ice, where it's picked up by Schwartz. Schwartz cuts into the middle as he gets knocked down on the play. Whistle by the officials as Schwartz writhing around in obvious pain.
And we'll check here on the replay and see how that play developed, as Marchand was looking to play the body once Schwartz picked the puck up. And right now, no penalties being called as both referees are now deliberating. But as we just saw in that replay, it didn't seem to be too egregious, where Schwartz, I think, maybe just tried to dodge out of the way at the last second where Marchand already committed to the hit.
Certainly the case as we see Schwartz get himself off the ice, as he made a last-second cut there into the middle of the ice trying to get around Marchand. You saw Marchand was committed to the check. And Marchand, big enough and strong enough, he was able to still get a piece of Schwartz. As Schwartz will head back into the locker room for GCU. Hansen, the captain for the Lopes, having a powwow with the officials. Offensive zone draw here, I believe, coming for GCU based on the position that Arizona State was lined up in briefly. Although the linesman now in the neutral zone, hanging out with Matt Keeler at that neutral zone face-off dot on the near side of the ice. So that does come out for Arizona State.
Arizona State down 3 with 9 minutes to go. It's definitely not last chance saloon time, but definitely something you want to see them show a little more urgency on the offensive side. And again, nothing to lose here, going for broke. Be aggressive, especially when you're going in on the offense, to try to just generate as many scoring chances as you can. And we've already seen them do that in this contest tonight, especially in that second period. So they know the recipe of what they need to do.
You saw Luke Chase was getting aggressive, trying to skate that one in himself. GCU was able to strip him of the puck, however. Send it in the corner. Ricky Nelson eats it checked. Gets up to Hansen. He'll blow a tire. That will be a penalty. Shot on. Saved by Creasy. And maybe a bit of a makeup call from the officials. One of the softer trips I've seen assessed here. But coming off the heels of what we just saw with Schwartz, not surprising that they were very quick to the whistle. And Matt Keeler, the guilty party.
Tough one for Arizona State to give up. But credit GCU, again, working in on that forecheck. And
Penalty, number 91.
you can just keep putting your opponent in those precarious positions. It'll eventually pay off.
For tripping, time the penalty. 8:31 remaining in the third period.
Face-off, tie-up. Arizona State unable to clear. Shot on through traffic, saved by Creasy. Kennedy backhands that one into the neutral zone. Bouncing puck. Great hand-eye displayed by Oakland. Oakland, a nice single-man effort, gets it to Vardas, back up to the point. Leading down low. Pushed in front. Arizona State, again, unable to clear the puck. Walking it in. Saved by Creasy. That puck settles for Olsen. Clear knockdown. Chase on the second, third attempt. Can't get it out. Kennedy backhands it to Olsen. Olsen has all the time to get a clearance, and this time the Sun Devils do get it all the way down the ice.
Maybe one good opportunity there for GCU as they swap out their power play units, but Sun Devils, again, keeping themselves in between the puck carrier and the net is usually a good starting place to kill off a penalty.
Masalik, no gain zone entry, and then drop it back to the point. The umbrella formation for GCU. Arizona State trying to keep them at a distance. Hansen now looking into the slot. He'll make that touch pass. Masalik walks in. Nice save by Creasy. Pushed into the corner. Hansen opens up the hips. He'll drop it. Kaner back on it now at the left point. Shot on, deflected off a stick, off the high glass. Hansen still on it. Down low to Nelson. Back to Hansen. Back up to the point. Final seconds tick off the penalty to Arizona State. They do get a kill. And we're back to even strength. Cooch gets his head up, tries to find Keeler ripping down the ice. And just out of his reach. Keeler, though, in on the forecheck. He'll win that puck. Keeler in front, just out of the reach of King. King back to the point, shot on, and a nice save there from DeMorinville.
Good shift by the Sun Devils after killing off that penalty. And again, it was Keeler getting into the mix where he was able to create some commotion, and that allowed King, fresh off the bench, to latch onto that puck and get a good scoring opportunity.
Keeler ties up his man on the draw. Tonez now down low to King off the half wall. He'll walk it in the middle of the ice. Shot blocked away. Tonez now. He'll walk it in. Rip one from Tonez. He scores! Keaton Tonez with a seeing eye shot. And the Sun Devils have life. It's 4-2. GCU leads with 5:57 remaining here in the third period.
Able to take advantage of that offensive zone draw. Sun Devils again brought their lunch pails to go back to work in the offensive zone. And that allowed Tonez to get to that rebound and was able to waltz in and rip one past DeMorinville. And the Sun Devils have life with 6 minutes left to go in the third period.
Matt Keeler getting an apple on that one. Some good work by him in the faceoff dot. Made that possible as he tied up his GCU man. And from there, Arizona State went to work. Sun Devils forced GCU back in the neutral zone here. As we'll expect Arizona State to stay aggressive. Back the other way, Oakland backhand forehand. Saved by Creasy as he laid out spread eagle and made the save on Oakland.
Couple of dandings by Creasy, and he kept that one out. Tough chance.
Nice stick by Anthony White. Can the Arizona State catch GCU in the middle of a change? Cooch now into White. One-timer saved by DeMorinville. Cooch picks it up back around the net. Now White. He'll send it down low. The Sun Devils changing behind the play. White still on it to the top of the blue line. Kept alive by Newland. Down low, a Sun Devil player blows a tire. Cooch just loses the handle as he was trying to send that back to Olsen. Keith Carney directing traffic, wants Olsen to fire it back up the half wall nice and quick. Cooch a soft chip in. That's easily handled by GCU. Coaching staff wanting Arizona State to be aggressive, pushing this puck up the ice as we're down to 4.5 minutes remaining here in the third period. Arizona State has looked the better of the two teams tonight, 5-on-5. Sun Devils will first need to get this puck out of their own end. This is the tired group for Arizona State, just trying to eat this on the half wall. Portas cuts through the middle, past two. Still on it, lopes in the blue paint. Creasy, a save. That's pushed in. Pleading now is Creasy to the official. Not sure what the call is, as there's a pileup of bodies in the blue paint.
Based on GCU going through the goal scoring line, it looks to be a goal as the Sun Devils almost kept that puck out. Creasy saved initially as we look here at the replay. It was banked off the back of his right leg pad, and he was, as he was falling to his keister, he was almost able to corral that puck and take it out before it crossed the goal line, but the referee was right there to see it, and he signaled that it was a goal.
And you could see Creasy pleading his case, but it was his own defenseman who knocked that GCU forward into him and on his rear end. And
they haven't put it on the board yet, though. Sorry.
Dr. Ben Smith, very astute.
And we've got somebody in the penalty box for GCU now.
Still haven't heard the goal.
There we go. Okay, now they counted it.
Scorekeeper. Oh, there you go.
And the
GCU
astute eyes of
scored
Dr.
by
Ben
number
Smith.
21, Tommy Wardus.
It was looking
Wardus
hopeful for a
assisted by
moment, but
number
GCU does get that
25,
goal on the board.
Brayden Olson. Wardus from Olson. Time to the goal, 4:02 remaining in the third period. Also,
And that's
with
a
4:02
backbreaker
remaining in
for
the third
Arizona
period,
State.
10-minute misconduct on 25 Olson.
As Olson for GCU assessed a 10-minute misconduct. And his night will end after that goal for the Lopes. Off the half wall. Trying to get a shot off was Masalik. Had his stick lifted. Jake King turns around, whips it in. As the top line back out for GCU, a heavy check laid by Masalik on Olson as he's slow to get up, and that will be a penalty assessed to GCU.
Olson going back in, retrieving a puck in his own zone, and Masalik a little too aggressive, and I think it'll be maybe a possible boarding call is what it's going to be. So the Sun Devils
GCU
needing to take advantage down
number
3.
7, Tyler Michalik. 2 minutes for roughing.
Still 3:21 remaining here in the third.
3:21 remaining in the third period.
We
Your Sun Devils are on
noted
the power
earlier,
play,
last chance
fueled by
saloon.
the
We weren't
Husband
quite at
and
that
Wife
point.
Law
I think it's
Team.
safe to say we are there right now for Arizona State as they win the draw. Olson works over to Marchand. He'll rip one on. And DeMorinville has to spread out and dive to cover that up. No Sun Devils in the vicinity.
Yeah, unfortunate, especially with that man advantage, that you know where the rebounds are most likely going to be, and Marchand getting that shot through, and it was a juicy rebound, but just no Arizona State players there.
Sun Devils win another offensive zone draw. Marchand just keeps it alive over to Olson. He throws one on. Rebound. King was there. So was DeVillers. DeVillers walked and whacked at it. Sun Devils back on it. King wanted to get it back up to the point. Didn't like what he saw, and GCU a chance to clear it. They will make sure to send that all the way down the ice. Olson walks it up. GCU aware of Arizona State's propensity to look for that drop pass. Not making it easy on the Sun Devils. Marchand to Olson. He cuts past a few Lopes as he eats a check almost into the boards for the Lopes. Olson out back on it again. Giving chase is Nelson. Nelson almost picking the pocket of Olson. Nelson, that lead forechecker for the Lopes. He'll see DeVillers skate past him and into the offense zone. DeVillers around 2. As he gets fresh line mates off the bench back behind the play. But the Lopes aggressive, digging into the corners as they get the puck, and they'll fork it all the way down the ice.
That's one thing the Lopes have done all weekend consistently is keep those legs moving and really make it hard on Arizona State to generate any sort of offense.
DeVillers touch pass. Gets it to Friesen. Friesen will gain the center line, backhand it down low. Friesen gets on his horse, tried to chip it into the neutral part of the ice. DeVillers was in the vicinity, but now it's Wardos back the other way. Wardos stops up on Anthony White. Cooch now on the puck. Cooch gets it poked off of his
GCU is back
stick.
at full strength.
Cooch, a heavy stick, keeps it alive. Friesen over to Cooch. Shot on, saved by DeMorinville. And we're back to even strength now with 1:10 remaining in the third. Tyler Kiley Ram drops to Friesen. Friesen through the middle of the ice, gets it to Cooch. He'll get it back to the point. Marchand swings it over to Olson. Olson looking for a wrister, saved by DeMorinville. Ty Marchand, maybe the last shift of his collegiate career here. He'll rip it on. DeMorinville will cover for a stoppage with 42.8 remaining on the clock.
As partner, we get down to the final 42.8 seconds of the 25-26 regular season. Sun Devils trying to at least get one more goal out here with all the seniors out on the ice right now.
The senior line wins it. Marchand, nice job just to keep it in. That puck bouncing and hopping on him, however. And Olsen will have to dig after it. Olsen lays a nice heavy check. Him and Wardas get familiar with each other. Marchand sky hooks one across. Nice job by him. Kylie Ram on it. Cooch, as Kylie Ram drives the middle of the ice. Cooch back up to Olsen. He'll swing it over to Marchand. Marchand through traffic. That one blocked away by the Lope player, as that was number 19 in the black and purple, Hendrickson. 5 seconds left here. Marchand, touch pass up the ice, sent into the middle. Cooch not able to collect it. And as the final seconds tick off here, a well-deserved win for GCU tonight on the road.
For the Sun Devils, I think overall a better effort than what we saw in last night's contest, but just came up short against a really good GCU team.
GCU coming into this weekend ranked 13th in the nation, and they certainly looked at both nights of this weekend series against Arizona State. GCU getting some quality goaltending both nights, and some very good special teams here tonight against Arizona State.
As we see some heartfelt hugs as the rest of the team are thanking the seniors for all they've done during their years in an Arizona State sweater before they go for their final handshakes.
As we'll set up here in the corner boards, the players you can see in the background going through the handshakes, Brett, and as you mentioned, the seniors, we can see them back here congratulating themselves on a great career, great job. Head coach Johnny Walker giving some hugs to them as well. And Arizona State putting up a big effort this weekend, but coming up just a little bit short, unfortunately, as we welcome you here into the corner boards, into the booth. My name's Niall Cooper. My partner's Brev On. Brett, it's been an exciting year for Arizona State. A lot of ups and downs, and unfortunately it ends on a tough note tonight. GCU did play a really good game and series this weekend.
Yeah, coming into this season with a new coaching staff with head coach Johnny Walker's first year at the ACHA Division I level. And for him, it was something that he's going to take and learn loads from coming into this year, but also want to highlight that there were some big key moments, none other than winning the Cactus Cup against the University of Arizona Wildcats for the first time in 7 years. And I think that's some building blocks to build that foundation of how this team's going to look under the guidance of Johnny Walker.
And a very exciting year. You mentioned the Cactus Cup. We haven't seen that from Arizona State in a while. A lot of previous seasons, that might have been the difference maker, getting them over the hump into nationals, as they've always been very close. A tough year for Arizona State, but we've seen a lot of positives. A nice way for some of these seniors to go off. I thought, we mentioned him multiple times tonight, but Ty Marchand played a really good game, and I think gave Arizona State a chance with some of his breakout passes down the stretch. As we see the players salute the family, the friends, the fans one final time here at Mount America Community Iceplex. Hugs still going around.
And that's what it's all for. It's all the friends, the family that have flown in tonight to enjoy possibly the last game for these seniors, or just the last game of the season in general. And for Arizona State, it's still, again, although a losing effort, a moment that they will not forget is all the friends they made and along the way.
And we saw also a very touching moment there as the Chase brothers, Luke and Ben, embracing for an extended hug. Ben Chase, one of the seniors, playing tonight in his final game. And the Chase family, they've gone through a lot over the last few years. And they certainly left nothing on the ice. A great effort from those two gentlemen, as we see a number of Arizona State players now get in the prayer circle with GCU to finish off this season and game tonight.
And now, not to mention, I was even laughing about it before the game, where these seniors, these are the last class of players that played at the old barn at Oceanside Ice Arena, and that makes, at least for me, feel pretty old, as now the rest of these players that are going to be coming along only know this barn.
That's certainly the case. Oceanside Ice Arena, one of those vintage old school barns that we unfortunately no longer have in the ACHA level. And Arizona State, they will move on now officially to the Mountain America Community Iceplex era. And I believe you are getting pretty old here, partner. And
you guys are kids. I'm going to chime in.
Maybe a little bit of gray. I think I can see there, kind of resembling Dr. Ben Smith. Best beard in the business. But it's been a very fun year, that's for certain. Arizona State, a lot of great players tonight. Brett, if you had to recognize one of the seniors who's had a great effort tonight, is there one that really sticks out in your mind?
No, it's going to be plural for me, Niall. Players of the game. I really want to highlight all these seniors that have really helped grow and carry this program forward into this new era. I want to say thank you to Connor Squeary, number 2, the forward, with his physical presence we saw each and every night. Something that really was a catalyst to get the energy and the boys going during games. Captain Kate Olson, the steady defenseman on the back end. You always rely on him on killing penalties, making the right plays, and also to even chipping in offensively from time to time. Brady Franklin, the senior from Manitoba, he was a player that really grew into his position. He also even played a little forward during his time here at Arizona State, and it was a real Swiss Army knife for the coaching staff to be able to utilize during games. Other senior, number 13, Tyler Kylie Ram. Tyler came in, he's an Arizona native, and was able to really put a big imprint and really round out his game from maybe being just more of a skilled player to a real 200-foot player that we even saw in the final games of his career tonight. Number 15, Ty Marchant. Ty came in on the freshman WCHL All-American team. Probably one of the best players we've ever seen in Arizona State sweater play, with his great offensive ability, skating, but also to his physicality, which I think he doesn't get enough credit for as being an all-around defenseman. Number 21, Carson Cooch from Flagstaff, Arizona. Again, another native Arizonan. Carson was one of those guys, again, kind of like a Squeary, where he was able to generate a lot of scoring chances and opportunities from his physicality and energy on the ice that his team fed off of. And last but not least, Ben Chase. Ben was only here for a couple of years, but he had a great imprint on the team of being able to play at this level and really bring up some of these younger players that we see now that are going to be competing for Arizona State for years to come.
I think something that you really touched on there, a lot of leadership from those seniors that unfortunately we will lose going into next season, but a lot of great players still on the ice, and there's going to be recruits coming through the doors in the years to come for Arizona State. I think great things ahead. As you mentioned, the Cactus Cup finally back home here in Tempe, Arizona. Some great goaltending from all the goalies we saw this year. So I think a lot of really good things for Arizona State to be able to build off of going into next season. Unfortunately, this season does end for them. No nationals this year in the first season for head coach Johnny Walker and co. But we will definitely look for quite the rebound next year. And we thank everyone for tuning in so far this entire year, from across the globe, from across the nation, friends, family, whoever you were. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching us every night on YouTube. And we also need to thank a few special people who make this broadcast possible each and every night throughout the season. Shout out to the Doc and Sharon Cooper, some of our quality control engineers over the year. They did an immaculate job. Not to mention the one and only Johnny V. He was one of the premier audio coordinators that we have had. A fantastic job from him, tuning in regularly throughout the year. Elena Vaughn, thank you so much for your wardrobe contributions this season. And then Cash, the money man, on the camera tonight. He did a fantastic job giving us extra angles, extra shots, production value, folks, that you don't see everywhere. And that does trickle all the way back to the original, the one, the only, Dr. Ben Smith. An amazing job, Dr. Smith. Thank you so much throughout the year for everything. The production value is insane. Last night even chipped in with some meteorology notes for all the folks that were tuning in. You really can't put a price on that man nor his beard. For my partner, Brett Vaughn, my name is Niall Cooper. And for the final time of the 2025-2026 season, we say so long from Tempe, Arizona.